Did you know that the Emperor of China loved Muslims so much, he actually wrote a poem praising the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? You see, at the time, China was being ruled by the Mongols in what was known as the Yuan dynasty. And because the Mongol Empire was so large, it covered both China and as far away as Persia and Turkey, they were able to bring a lot of Muslim workers from those Muslim lands and bring them to work in China. Muslims played an important role in the government and the army of China. And eventually, another general called Hung Wu kicked out the Mongols and created his own dynasty called the Ming dynasty. And when he did that, he made sure to keep a good relationship with the Muslims in China. During his rule as emperor, he built a lot of masjids in China for the Muslims and even restored many of the older ones. Two of China's most famous masjids were actually built by him, called the Great Masjid in Xi'an and the Jinjue Masjid in Nanjing. Also, he put little dragons on the mosques as details, which was the seal of the emperor, meaning that these buildings were under the emperor's protection. And this is when he wrote one of China's most famous poems, the 100-word eulogy. I'll show you the poem at the end of the video so you can pause and read it yourself. In the poem, he praises Islam and the Prophet, peace be upon him. And you can see this poem actually hung up on many of the walls in the masjids in China. And it was around this time that Nanjing, the capital city at the time, became a hub for Chinese Islamic scholarship. Schools were open there that taught the Islamic sciences, the Quran, Hadith, Fiqh. They also taught Arabic and Persian in their schools, and they even developed this method of using Chinese characters to write out Arabic words. This is similar to how we use English letters to write out Arabic words when people that don't speak Arabic want to learn how to pray or make dua. These scholars were so advanced that they even created astronomical tables for the Chinese government. This was to calculate the positions of the sun and the moon and make calendars based on those calculations. That's right. The Chinese government was actually using a form of the Islamic calendar. Who would have known that the Muslims have such a deep history in China? Like and follow for more Muslim facts.